coming up on ATV News.
We'll have your election results and show you how your neighbors got them.
These people aren't dressed up for Halloween. We'll show you how they honored their ancestors.
Utahns in Brigham City said goodbye to their assistant police chief. We'll show you how they honored him.
Do you know more about sports than our anchors? Take my quiz along with them.
We can't predict when the leaves will fall, but we can predict when the temperature will, in weather.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
I will be only one of 100 United States senators, but I believe that one person doing the right thing at the right time can have a lasting impact.
Supporters gathered at Romney's victory party last night, smiling and greeting the new senator himself. He said his victory means more than a Republican win in the Senate.
I believe it's a call for greater dignity and respect. I believe it's an affirmation that regardless of one's gender or ethnicity or sexual orientation or race or place of birth, that we are all equal, not only in the eyes of God, but also in the respect and dignity we are due from government and from our fellow Americans.
Romney will be representing the state for 6 years. He is replacing Senator Orrin Hatch, who is retiring. Thanks for tuning in to ATV News. I'm Cassandra Solarte.
And I'm Bobby Russell. We'll have more election news for you later in the show.
USU campus police sent out a code blue alert on Monday warning students about a sexual assault that occurred on campus the previous day. Police say the assault probably happened at a fraternity, but would not say which one. When reporters asked a USU representative, they were also unwilling to give any more information.
Any other questions can be referred to Logan City Police.
We have contacted Logan City Police and are waiting to hear back.
That alert is the third code blue alert sent out around campus in the last month. On Thursday, the Utah Department of Commerce released a statement saying that Lonnie Nyman agreed to not only stop practicing as a funeral director, but he also said he does not admit to any wrongdoing related to the crime. The Cache County Attorney's Office charged Nyman with 3 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor, a second-degree felony, 4 counts of dealing harmful materials to a minor, witness tampering, and 2 counts of enticing a minor. USU police sent out the code blue on Wednesday, saying he may pose a threat to students. A university spokesman did not say what Nyman's ties to USU were, but says,
The safety of our campus community is our top priority, and so we send these alerts out in order to make sure that we're providing people with a chance to help with the safety of the whole community.
Police say if you see Nyman on campus, please call USU Police.
Cache Valley Police have a new way for you to reach them in case of emergencies. Texting 911 is now an option if you are in need of help. Times that you can use the texting option include if you are deaf, hard of hearing, or have a speech disability. If you are unable to speak because of a medical emergency, or if you are in a situation where it is too dangerous for you to call, such as an abduction, domestic violence situation, or an active shooting situation.
We just want people to know that if they need help, that don't hesitate to call us or text us.
Visit our Facebook page for more information on the new Text 911 option. Hundreds of people are attending funeral services for Brigham City's Assistant Chief Police over the weekend.
Haley Hendricks shows us how this man impacted his community.
All units, this is the final call for Assistant Chief Bravo 2 and Vincent.
Family, friends, and emergency responders gathered to honor the life of a man they say made a difference.
He always had a smile. Made me want to smile even when I didn't want to.
He always impressed me as a man who really cared about people.
Giving the highest respects to Vincent and his family, officers performed a custom before loved ones said their goodbyes.
Honoring Vincent one last time, these blue ribbons were worn to serve as a reminder of his services he provided to his family, friends, and the community.
Flags line the cemetery and sway in the wind, serving as a reminder for those, like Vincent, who've dedicated their lives to the service of others.
We wanted people involved in emergency management and taking care of themselves, and that's what I want to do.
And when a police officer falls, even if it's not through in the actual performance of their duty, it's still a big deal for us.
It's a sad day. It's a good man gone.
Haley Hendricks, ATV News.
Vincent passed away October 27th due to an aneurysm while performing a physical fitness test on October 18th. Our condolences to the Vincent family.
The remains of the North Ogden mayor are back in Utah after he died during his deployment in Afghanistan. The Utah National Guard says Major Brent Taylor's attacker was a member of the National Afghan Forces. Taylor received a Purple Heart and a bronze medal for his service with the Operation Iraqi Freedom. Taylor leaves behind his wife, Jenny, and their 7 children. Our thoughts are with the Taylor family at this time.
We have special coverage of the events around Election Day here for you.
Cache County is still red after numbers were overwhelmingly in favor of the Republican Party. Here are some of the candidates projected to represent you in the next election cycle. In the race for U.S. Congress, Republican Rob Bishop is likely to remain Cache County's representative, leading with 62% of votes in District 1 as of the morning. On the state level, Republican Scott Sandel took 77% of the votes for Senate in District 17, which includes Brigham City and all of southern Cache County. For those of the representatives, Republican Val Porter received 77% of the votes in District 3, which represents North and Central Cache County. Republican Dan Johnson took District 4 with 63% of the vote. Casey Snyder took District 5, so he will represent southern Cache County.
ATV's Christy Ocken is live with us on campus hearing students' reaction to the midterm elections. Christy, how are people feeling?
Hi, Bobby and Cassandra. I got the chance to go to the campus-wide watch party last night, and I spoke with a few students about their concerns about the results. And I spoke with Sam Jackson, Student Association Vice President, and he says although Utah is a conservative state, that party affiliation among students is about 50-50. When I spoke to a few of the Democratic student voters, they said they were disappointed with the results, but all in all, not surprised. Let's go ahead and check out more reaction from students during this midterm. Some students cheered and some booed when the Democrats took the House. And others booed and some cheered when Republicans retained the Senate.
Like our Christmas Day, it's been snowing outside today, so it's kind of been the joke. But a lot of my friends are here. A lot of CHAS majors and majors from across campus are here.
USU students are taking an interest in midterm elections and politics. And over 50 of them are here at the USU campus-wide watch party.
Within our nation, politics has become such a divided thing. And when we have opportunities like this to all come together and talk about it and be excited or be scared and people with different political ideologies coming together to celebrate this process in our country, I think that it was a really cool opportunity.
That was a few reactions from student voters on campus. Later on, we'll show you some of the measures and the results from those measures on our state ballot. How's the weather outside today, Nicole?
Oh, it's pretty cold out here, but it's a beautiful day. I'll show you if it's going to stay that way for this week.
Thanks, Nicole and Christy. Coming up, an inside look at what it's like to be in the USU ROTC.
And the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I is this weekend. We'll show you how you can celebrate.
listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back.
When you want to talk, I'm here.
Welcome back. We've got your election news.
More than just candidates were on your ballots. Utahns voted against Question 1, which was a gas tax increase for education and roads. However, Utah is still counting votes for Propositions 2, 3, and 4. 2 regards medical marijuana legalization. 3 deals with expanding Medicaid for people younger than 65 with incomes at or below the federal poverty line. And Prop 4 will form a 7-member independent redistricting commission in light of possible gerrymandering.
I was just outside with Christy. It's pretty cold out there, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely felt it this morning.
Oh yeah.
Super cold this morning.
Oh yeah. I'm going to show you more about the weather over at the weather screen. So I thought we'd start out the weather segment today with a few pictures. This first picture I got when I was headed out of class on campus on Monday. It's just a beautiful shot of a sunset, and I love Cache Valley sunsets. And for our next shot, I just wanted to show you we have snow in the mountains. Not quite snow in the valley yet. Speaking of the valley, that'll bring us to our next picture. This was taken this morning, and it was so foggy out there. More fog than I've seen in a while. And this picture was taken 30 minutes after the previous picture. It's a pretty clear day now. The sun came up and cleared out that fog, and it's been a beautiful day. And we'll go on to our 7-day forecast. So for Wednesday, we had 9-mile-an-hour winds today, and that's going to calm down here in the nighttime, and it'll be partly cloudy. And on Thursday, it's going to be about 5-mile-an-hour winds, and it's going to calm down in the evening. Those winds are going to calm down. And on Friday, we're going to have calm winds, and it's going to be partly cloudy at nighttime. And over here on Saturday, this is going to be our cloudiest day of the week, as well as our highest temperature, which reaches only into the high 40s. And the rest of the week is going to be pretty clear and sunny. And we have about a 45-degree average temperature for the week. And that's it for weather. Looks like we're looking at a pretty sunny week. Back to you guys at the desk.
Would you run through a corn maze with a fake rifle? If you are in the ROTC, you would. At ATV's Caitlin Renlis-Baker got you a closer look at how they train to become officers in the military here on campus.
These Army ROTC students are carrying rifles through a cornfield. Though the guns are fake, these cadets are using them and the American West Heritage Center's corn maze to practice real military drills. According to cadets, these drills build leadership and prepare students to become officers in the U.S. military.
The goal is to commission officers into the U.S. Army, whether it be National Guard, Reserve, or the active duty Army. But here we also want to make sure that they have a strong bedrock and foundation in leadership.
Some of the newer cadets say they are learning just that.
It's a program in which I can learn and grow a lot and become a better leader and a better person in general.
It should only take me 15 minutes, okay, to go and come back.
Students are ranked by their year, MS 1, 2, 3, and 4. MS4s prepare the labs for the other cadets.
A lot of planning goes into these labs, from scoping out the terrain to knowing what equipment they're going to need to use.
All right, let's get moving, guys. Ruck up.
MS3s run the teams, known as platoons, through the operations, moving in formations,
Okay, Castillo.
creating a base of operations,
We're going to be on the 2, and you're going to be on the 10.
and teamwork are skills that all the cadets learn through the drill.
Hopefully we can use that message to get out there.
According to Major Coleman, the work they are doing is paying off.
This year, the Utah National Guard basically looks at the metrics for all the ROTC programs within the state, and they compare GPA, commissioning qualifications and just quality metrics across all the programs within the state. And this year, Utah State University's ROTC program was ranked #1 within the state.
Time? Okay, just making sure.
The students that are in the Reserve Officer Training Corps say that they are getting more from the program than just leadership and military training.
It really is just a big family, and everyone cares about everyone. We make sure that we're all good, that we're able to do what we need to do.
Caitlin Rindlis-Baker, ATV News.
We'll show you what it's like for women in the ROTC in our next piece.
In preparation for the upcoming 100th anniversary of Armistice Day this Sunday, events have been happening all over campus in honor of World War I, including a poetry readathon for the centennial. USU English and History students took turns on the stage at the TSC Hub to read poetry from the World War I era. Students and faculty came to listen. Students read these poems to remind people of the war and the connection it has to us today.
There are student veterans on campus right now who, did the same thing that the soldiers from the college that, went away to war 100 years ago. So it's kind of like thinking about the continuum of people from the university serving.
And in that list of activities is the exhibit at the library that shows what life was like during the days of the war. ATV's Nicole Heaps has an inside look at the exhibit.
Students walk into the Utah State Library where a World War I exhibit is on display. The exhibit is here for 2 weeks for the 100th anniversary of Armistice Day, November 11th, 1918. This picture shows you soldiers training on campus, and according to Utah State archivist Robert Parson,
it was a pretty small place. There wasn't much on campus at that time.
these skateboarders do tricks on what is now known as the quad. 100 years ago, it was most of campus.
Then it was the Agricultural College of Utah, almost 3 decades old.
Buildings like Animal Science, Raby West, and Geology are part of university and World War I history. Parsons says soldiers were trained on campus and housed in the buildings.
Traditional barracks were made out of wood, but here they were made out of brick so that they could eventually be transformed for classroom use.
Here at the library, this picture of soldiers on campus shows you people were involved in the war close to your home. And during the war, everyone was expected to help out with the war effort, or you were considered unpatriotic, according to a professor who teaches about the culture of World War I.
It was a part of every single person's life every day. We were going over there to fight the war. In fact, the war was going on here too.
Nicole Heaps, ATV News.
Next week we'll have more when Nicole shows you artifacts from Saturday's World War I Roadshow. And right on that same note, USU football will honor all servicemen and women on Veterans Day Saturday as they face San Jose State, and Aggie fans will be sporting shirts like these at the game.
Also coming up, how people are finding community through a movie.
This isn't normally how a fraternity makes the news. We'll tell you what they did and how many people they affected.
If you can say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. Can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the milestone thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm your game show host, Haley Hendricks. Today, I'm going to have our anchors participate in my sports quiz, and you're more than welcome to play along. Each question will be worth 5 points, and we'd love to hear how you did. So post your score on our Facebook page. All right, Aggies, Utah State took on the Rainbow Warriors Saturday night. How many yards did USU's Darwin Thompson rush for? Was it 130, 139, 141, or 125? All right, you have the next 6 seconds to take your guess. What are you thinking?
I feel like it was 141. Was that the correct thing?
Well, you know, we're going to be coming up on that with that answer right about now. So, that's right. The women's volleyball team took on Fresno State. Oh no. Well, I think we've got the wrong clip here playing, but that's okay. So, Darwin Thompson did win 141 yards. Taking a look here at that nice touchdown that he takes across the next 18 yards on that 18-yard run in the first quarter. All right, and so the women's volleyball team took on Fresno State, losing 21-25. Presley Jensen and one other player tied with the same amount of blocks. Was it Gabby Shumway, Corinne Larson, Whitney Sosabal, or Tasia Taylor? You've got the next 6 seconds to place your bets. Ready, set, go.
What do you think, Bobby? I feel like it was Tasia Taylor.
I'm gonna guess Corinne.
Okay.
Those are definitely some good guesses, but Corinne Larson is the right answer, as she got 4 blocks like this one throughout the game. And 2 USU running backs tied for the most touchdowns. It was Darwin Thompson. And who else is your guess? Let's take a look at the options below. It was it Jordan Love, Gerald Bright, Dominique Everly, or El Toro Allen? You get the idea of the 6 seconds on the clock. So ready, go, guys.
I don't know. Jordan Love? I don't really. I hear his name a lot. I would say Jordan Love.
Me too.
Jordan Love? Okay, well, I'm thinking that it's going to be more of Gerald Bright. Don't know what our viewers are thinking, but if you guess Gerald Bright, who tied with Thompson in this clip, you'll see Bright in the first of those 3 touchdowns of the night, an 18-yard run in the first quarter. Every time Skyview's quarterback, Mason Falslove, had the ball and ran with it, how many yards did he average? Was it 6.6, 7.9, 5.8, or 5.1? And your guys' countdown begins now.
I would say 7.9.
I guess in the middle, about 5.8.
Oh, you guys are so close. Those numbers can get tricky sometimes. But the answer is 6.6 yards. If we're taking a look here at this clip of Skyview versus the Park City Miners, Falslove carries the ball through a tough tackle. And that's it for this week's Aggie Sports Quiz. Thanks, ladies, for playing along with me. Kind of fun doing something like that. And for those of you at home, remember to let us know how you did. The Utah State men's basketball team was in Bozeman, Montana last night, taking on Montana State. The Aggies took control of this game early in the first half and never let the Bobcats get close. Behind a career-high 37 points from Sam Merrill and 15 points from Dwayne Brown Jr., the Aggies won this one by a final score of 101-71. And Utah State men's basketball team will be back at the Spectrum Friday night playing Hartford. And on that same note, women's basketball, they started their season on the road at Washington State last night. Washington State held the lead in the first half against the Aggies, but behind a career-high 23 points from Haley Bassett-Meekum and 16 points from Olivia West, the Aggies outscored the Cougars 28-13 in the fourth quarter, on their way to the 72-61 victory. The Aggies will be back at home on Friday, taking on Northern New Mexico. Back to you guys.
October may be over, but I was able to go to the Utah Theater to check out a movie with a cult following that makes an appearance every year around Halloween.
At a typical movie, there isn't a witch flash mob or a costume contest. And you definitely don't see people dancing in front of the screen. But at the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's the norm. And dancing the time warp is mandatory. Because you don't just watch the movie, you play a role in it. You can dress in drag or as characters from the movie.
I'm Magenta.
I'm Eddie.
I'm dressed as Janet Weiss, one of the main characters. During one of her songs, audience members hold newspaper over their heads and shine flashlights to replicate the scene in the movie.
This is one of the many scenes you would see props used in the audience.
Like we brought toilet paper and we brought cards to just throw.
Prop use isn't the only ritual that takes place during this cult film. You'll hear all kinds of profanities shouted at the characters.
If you don't like people talking through a movie while you're at the theater, you are in the wrong spot and you should go.
If you're a first-timer, Slut is written on your body by a Rocky Horror veteran.
When I first saw it, I was, pretty taken away by it, and I like seeing other people have that same reaction. It's not something that you get very often.
But this movie provides more than just laughs. For many, it gives them a place to be themselves. Addressing sexual liberation and being transgender in a way that was before its time when released in the 70s.
Don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover.
And for many fans, that's what makes it so important.
I like to be an ally in any way I can.
Once a year, it's a really great chance to see people break out of their shell.
Freeing, I would say. You don't have to worry about what other people are thinking, what other people are saying.
Yeah, it was really fun going. Somebody even showed me how to do the time warp.
That looks like so much fun. In more festivities, the Day of the Dead is a Latino holiday and a time for people to celebrate their loved ones. And this year, one woman took that to the next level. She created a community ofrenda, which is set up on Day of the Dead to honor and remember their ancestors. People brought in pictures of their loved ones and their favorite foods. Cruz hopes this brings unity.
My hopes is to unify the community, unify our cultures, and strengthen our families by remembering our loved ones and doing activities together.
Cruz says if you would like to have your loved ones' pictures on the ofrenda next year, to bring them to the family place in Logan. How fun the Day of the Dead traditions make the Halloween spirit last a little longer.
Yeah, I love it. And here on campus, the USU Latin Creative Society and the Latin Cultural Center hosted a procession on campus in honor of the Day of the Dead. The march started in front of Old Main and continued around campus. People came dressed in traditional Day of the Dead attire. Anyone and everyone was welcome to join the procession to honor, celebrate, and remember loved ones who have died.
It's a time to not be afraid of death and think about the positive things that we have because we connect to each other, whether it's through family or friends.
The people sang loudly as they walked so their loved ones who had passed away could hear. It's one of the Day of the Dead traditions that has been passed down through the years.
Having some prompter issues, we'll get right there. Oh. Thanks for joining us on ATV News. You can find our Facebook page.